this morning to this presentation by the two students of TAMCC, Emma and Lisa. So Lisa hails from St. George's and she is the accounting clerk teacher at TAMCC. Miss Murray is office administrator. They are in pursuance of their degree, and so they have chosen this school here to do their presentation. We are fortunate because I think maybe this is one of the first presentation that we'll be having from somebody who will be doing a degree and so on. So I can say we are blessed. Well, Miss Murray hails from Hermitage because she has passed between the walls of this school and sat, maybe not these chairs, quite a long time ago, but we replaced them, okay? But she sat on chairs that we had before. And well, Miss Charles is from St. George's, as I said, and we want her to enjoy our sceneries and all the beautiful things we have to offer and our wonderful people, children as well as adults. Once again, I say welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Peters, for your welcome. Now, the purpose of us being here, myself and Ms. Charles, is to fulfill the requirement for some studies we presently undertaking, a master's degree in education, and we also like to share with the teachers and parents information that we think will be useful for the benefit of our students. So, my presentation is entitled Increasing Student Achievement by Looking at the School, my objectives. At the end of the presentation, you should be able to identify the characteristics of a high-performing school. And you're going to analyze your school by preparing a full-scale analysis. And we're going to look at what the school improvement plan is and the way forward in terms of increasing student achievement. So before I proceed, I'm just going to have a little ice-breaking activity. I'm not seeing all of my parents here yet, so those of the parents and teachers who are here, I'd just like us to get probably into groups of threes to get that ice-breaking activity done. Thank you. Okay, so there are 10 persons on the stage in Liveboat. You have those persons there. In your group, or as a group, you can only save 3 persons. So you need to discuss for the next minute or so which of those 3 persons you are going to save. And then you'll give us your rationale. germs group. Which three persons are you going to save and give us your rationale?
You said you have a pregnant woman, 10-year-old child, and the doctor.
Why?
The pregnant woman, the child, when this child is born, it could be anything. 10-year-old child is, to grow through, to come up with life and contribute to society. And we need the doctor to take care of them.
Okay. Number by the front. Which three persons are you guys going to
We
save?
have the same persons as this one. The 10-year-old child, the doctor, and the pregnant woman.
Okay.
The sailor doctor and the priest.
Give us your rationale.
The sailor knows about his sea, so he can find some other way to save everybody else. The doctor, if anything goes wrong, medically he can find a way to even save others. And then the priest can pray.
You want to hear it?
Oh, you know what I said? Oh, sorry. No, I said the sailor, the doctor, and the priest. Yeah. Because the sailor can find some other way, because he knows about the sea. He can find some other way to save the others. The doctor, if anything goes wrong, medically, he can help in that field, and then the priest could pray.
You want to tell us, Mr. John, which three persons you want to save?
Me?
Yeah.
The pregnant lady, 10-year-old child, and my 8-year-old grandson.
Why? Why?
Well, the pregnant lady, you probably have kids that look like that kind of condition at the child, I think, is representing the future. The old lady, she's other than me. My grandmother, my family one, other than why I want to know from the child.
Miss Ford, which three persons did you decide to save?
The doctor, the 10-year-old, and the pregnant woman, sustenance and continuance of life.
Okay, great. Now picture that sinking lifeboat as your school. What is our job as educators, teachers and parents? What's our responsibility? If that sinking lifeboat was your school, how many persons are we going to save? We don't have time to rationalize. We don't have time to discuss who, what, and where. Irrespective of the students we have, socioeconomic status, the parents' level of education, that has nothing to do with it. We have to ensure that, well, here are the 300 plus students that we have in our schools, we need to save all of them. In other words, we need to ensure that all of them meet the required standards, right? And in 2001, the No Child Left Behind Act was passed in the United States by President George Bush on the basis that he wanted to bridge the gap between high achievers and low achievers, so that law was enacted. Nelson Mandela also said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And in order for us to change the world, our school has to be high-performing schools. So now we're going to look at the characteristics of high-performing schools, and you are going to decide whether your school is high-performing or not. Okay? Now the first characteristic of a high-performing school is that there should be a clear and shared focus. In other words, all of us should be striving towards the same thing. We cannot be, doing things randomly. So the school has a mission statement, the school has a vision statement. All teachers, parents, whoever is concerned, need to ensure that all of us are working towards the same thing. Next, high standards and expectations for all students. Sometimes as teachers, because of our own biases and preconceived ideas, we tend to lean towards students who maybe have a particular surname or come from a particular home, and we place high expectation on those students, and those who come from not and that's our role as teachers. Effective school leadership. The principal has a major part to play in ensuring that whatever the mission of the school is being realized, so that person has to ensure that whatever plans are in place are supposed to be carried out. Then high levels of collaboration and communication. High levels of collaboration and communication. In other words, as teachers, we're supposed to have a strong network. We're supposed to be team players. How can we ensure that students succeed if we are locked against each other? If we are not working together collaboratively, it's obviously going to affect the students, and the purpose that we are here is to ensure that, all of our students succeed. Then, there has to be an alignment with curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and that is also called the achievement cycle. Whatever that you're teaching is supposed to be aligned to the curriculum is supposed to be aligned to the standards, those things that students will be able to do and know at the end of the grade or at the end of the term, as the case might be. And your assessment has to prove that the students can do that formative assessment, regular observations in the classroom, and teachers are supposed to be monitored regularly. At our school, at CC, our immediate supervisor comes to our classroom, our dean comes to our classroom, the associate dean comes to our classroom, and the principal walks around the college. So these 4 persons are monitoring us to ensure that our students are receiving quality instruction. The principal ensures that we are doing what we're supposed to do. And our dean, he don't sit in his office. He walks around the school, he comes to our class, sits for 10-15 minutes to ensure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And if he realizes that there is any, need for improvement, he will organize a workshop or as the case may be. And that's what professional development is all about. You have to identify the area of need that your teacher may have, and have sessions so that the teacher will be able to develop that area so that the students can benefit. Then, another characteristic of a high-performing school is supportive learning environment. Do your students feel that you care for them as teachers? Do your students want to come to your class? How do you speak to your students? And I've heard comments from teachers that, I actually wonder, does that person really understand the profession? And at the college level, we have difficulty trying to motivate students. Why? Because of something a teacher would have said to them at the primary school level. See, some students already come from homes that, they're not, parents are not so concerned, and as teachers, we kind of have to fill that gap. And when you respond to some students harsh, and you say unkind things to them, that's just going to crush their spirits. So you have to let your students know that you care for them, and that care has to be genuine concern. Let them know that you care for them genuinely. And then finally, high levels of family and community involvement. How involved is the community in your school? How do you involve family in the school? Apart from probably graduation or sports or fair, how else is parents a part of the school? You see, those things are kind of on the social side. We also need to ensure that students are involved in the academic life of their parents also, of the students also. One of the programs that we came across in our studies is that on that particular day, right throughout the school, the parent of that child must come in, and the program is called Read With Me. So the parent will come in for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or so, and the parent will have to read with that child. And that's an annual program across the school. So apart from, the social side, the sports and the fair and whatever, we need to get parents actively involved in the academic life of their students. You can invite parents to sit in your class for 5 or 10 minutes just to see how the child is performing, you know? So we need to get parents more involved in the life of their students. So these are some of the characteristics that make up a high-performing school, and you will have to decide whether your school have the characteristics to be called high-performing. Now let's take a closer look at your school. We're going to zoom in a little bit. What is the school currently doing to encourage student achievement? In other words, to help students to achieve. We need to know what we're doing so that we continue doing it. And those things that are preventing students from performing, we need to see where we can improve. And to help us do that, we will look at the force field analysis. What is a force field analysis? It is a method for listing, discussing, and assessing the various forces for and against a proposed change. So when you look at your school, you realize that students are not performing at the required levels. What are the reasons for that? So we need to look at our school and we need to kind of brainstorm those things that we are doing good, that is helping students achieve. We need to continue doing that. And those things that we are doing or not doing that is causing students to achieve, to perform at low levels, we need to look at ways of improving that. So now we're going to look at a video which gives us a clearer understanding of what a force field analysis is. And then I will have you carry out an activity where you're going to look at your school, brainstorm to determine those things that are helping students achieve and those things that are not helping students achieve, and we're going to look at ways of improving student achievement. So we're going to look at this video for the next few minutes.
Start figuring out what to do and buy a phone or just start doing things. In fact, to work through a process to collaboratively determine what is the way your students can understand that content. What are some steps, some specific things you can do to quickly move into those answers? Because you're ready to work on a solution. The first step that I found worked well consistently with staff and parents when I was a principal. And they did this without me. They learned to do it and they did it within their own groups because they knew it. And the first tool that we used was what's called a force field analysis. It's a tool you probably seen in a lot of courses. It's widely used in the business world. And let's walk through what that looks like, how that feels, what that looks like. In a force field analysis, what you're doing is you're brainstorming using what's called
English, what we can do is to clip it into that. Yeah, okay, download it and put it here.
And then what are the things that are driving it? What are the things that aren't working at all? You need to know what is working, so you keep doing that and you don't pull away funding from something that's very important. But you need to know what's
Video was let me just summarize what the video was about. That was Dr. Zimi, and she was the principal of one of the elementary schools in the United States. Now, their school had a problem with student behavior. The students in the school were not behaving properly. So what they decided to do, they decided to do a force field analysis. They needed to find out what exactly was causing students to behave in that particular way. And they did a lot of brainstorming, and the things that were preventing students from behaving was pretty long. So they had to do some elimination. And the three that she highlighted was that they realized that students were coming to school without any proper home training. The other thing she noticed was that when children come to school early and they're on the playground, they tend to engage in inappropriate behavior. And then the last thing that she highlighted was that the school had rules, but the teachers were not enforcing the rules. So as a result, children were behaving inappropriately. Now we have 3 different issues, but we cannot tackle all of them at the same time. So they decided to pick out the one which will bring the most results with as very little effort as they possibly can. So the problem with children coming to school early, I mean, they don't really have control over that. Children coming to school, not having the proper training, they really didn't have much control over that. But what they did have control over is that teachers were they had different ways of enforcing the rules, so they had to be more collaborative with that, right? So once they decided to work together as a unit to enforce the rules, she said eventually they began to see, more appropriate behavior in students, right? So that's basically the benefits of a force field analysis. You know what the problem in the school is. You need to identify those things that are encouraging the problem or those things that are preventing the problem, and look at ways of minimizing. So what I will ask you to do now, I will appreciate if we get into, probably since we, just get into 2 groups, and you are going to look at your school. So you're going to do a force field analysis on your school, right? You're going to look at those things that the school is currently doing, that is helping students to succeed or helping students to achieve. And you're also going to look at those things that are preventing students from achieving. In order for us to move forward, we need to know what changes we need to make, right? And student achievement is something that, all schools need to look at. So we could just stay how we are, 1 group on the left, 1 on the right, and I'm going to provide you with a Bristol board. So basically, we could say your strengths and your weaknesses. Those things that are helping students achieve, those things that are preventing students from achieving, and on those things that are preventing students from achieving, you're going to actually pick that one area that you want to focus on, and then you're going to see how we could use that to implement some form of change. Everybody understand?
which the school is ready to involve.
I believe even the primary schools should cooperate with the school board.
Yes, I believe so.
I believe that.
We have a limit.
And then that is bringing the community.
Yeah.
Because the school will unite together as a common school. Stakeholders. And then they will the school can also do its own initiative involving the community by having days with the community.
Pastor,